Hello, my name is Matt Hamel. I'm the news director at 730 CKDM Radio here in Dauphin, Manitoba. Family Day is what most of the country calls the holiday today, but back in 2008, Manitoba decided to rename it Louis Riel Day in honor of a man called the father of the Métis people and the leader who made Manitoba the only province to join Canada under Indigenous leadership. Now, today's celebration of Métis culture has had to go virtual due to COVID-19, and to talk more about that and for more fascinating insights into the Canadian icon Louis Riel and his impact on the Métis people, I'm fortunate to be joined by President of the Manitoba Métis Federation, David Chartrand. President Chartrand, can you explain what kind of significance Louis Riel Day has for Métis people?
Well, I think firstly the most important aspect is to truly give respect to the first premier, the founder of Manitoba, is recognition for his contribution to creating the province of Manitoba and also bringing Western Canada into Confederation. So we can never forget that. I think a lot of people, if they, especially history buffs, they want to take the time to reflect and think of what could have been. At one time there was annexation being attempted by Americans and to come in here and make Manitoba and Western Canada part of the United States. And it was the Métis who were definitely going to defend at the borderline. If there was a crossing of any attempt of annexation, it was going to be the Métis who were going to put weapons up and defend the territory. So it was very clear the Métis were very prominent in protecting our homeland, our western province. And what people need to also recognize, Riel is actually the first Indigenous leader to bring a province into Confederation. That's probably not well known in our schools. And so for so many to recognize Riel today, it gives me great honor. And a lot of schools voted in favor of this, a lot of young kids in the province. And we come a long way, Matt, because we reflect back. This province portrayed Riel as a traitor, as a man that deserved to be hanged. And today we recognize the true history, the true facts that display that he was not a traitor. He actually was a builder, and he was one that believed in the future of seeing settlers move into such a vast territory of land that could be built together and shared together. We talk today about immigration. Riel already had a plan for immigration. So when you look at all the things that he did, he was ahead of his time and definitely deserves to be recognized as the first premier. And I can't thank Gary Doer enough in our discussions, Ian, back and forth, that he did the right thing by calling it Louis Riel Day. But let's understand significantly what that means to us too, Matt, from the culture side. From Métis side, it's about family. It's about coming together as a community, as a family, looking at people as equals, not looking at one is rich or one is poor, or one is black and one is white. So it's clearly looking at Manitobans as equals, and Manitobans to be proud of who we are. We got one of the kindest provinces in this country. Manitoba is one of the biggest giving of any charities in this country, and I can't say enough how proud I am that it resembles the heart and the mindset of Riel and how he wanted this province to be and what it's become.
And President Chartrand, I sort of have my next question to ask you, just why is Louis Riel Day significant for all Canadians? And I think you kind of hit it already there with your explanation, eh?
Well, we're not finished with the vision of what we want to see in Canada, because as being the father of Manitoba, he's definitely one of the founders of Canada and fathers of Confederation. So I would see, in our discussions with Canada's ongoing, we want to see a Louis Riel statue along with all the other fathers of Confederation in Parliament. And that's something we envision one day, that he's truly given the complete recognition that he deserves, and all fathers of Confederation deserve, including our first Prime Minister, John A. Macdonald.
President Chartrand, you'd mentioned Louis Riel Day, really, the kind of central theme being family. Can you talk about what kind of events the Manitoba Métis Federation have planned to celebrate the holiday on Monday?
Well, let me say this first, Matt. In such not too much of a derogatory way against COVID, what COVID has stolen from us, but COVID has robbed a lot from us and taken so much opportunities where we can actually gather as we normally would, having some of our best jiggers come forward and our square dancers, our fiddle music being played in the parks and in halls and buildings, our gatherings to be gathering at the Riel grave site or at the museum in St. Boniface, which we have a partnership with. We'll have a virtual event taking place on Louis Riel Day. You'll hear more about that on CTV. I'll be there in the morning for the Métis Minute. That'll be launched on Louis Riel Day. We're having a Métis Minute. Every month we'll have a different message about Métis culture and Métis history, and some of it will be about Riel. And so when you look at it from that context, it's even though COVID is trying to steal it from us, we're still going to make sure we get some way of getting our pride out, and the pride we have for the Father of Manitoba, and display for all society, not just for the Métis people.
Yeah, and we have here locally the Northwest Métis Council talking about a lot of these same events. So we'll make sure to get everybody hip to what exactly is going on, the events wise on Monday. President
if you look in Dauphin, Matt, we have pretty soon we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony of our first daycare center in Dauphin, and it's a quite large daycare center. We're also going to open our second pharmacy in Dauphin. New office space is being evolved and developed as we speak right now. We're going to create a lot of more jobs in Dauphin, and I'm sure the mayor and the town of Dauphin is very pleased to see the investments the Métis government is doing, and this stems from the direction and development of what we always believe Riel to have done for us, to be always entrepreneurial and also to make sure we do our part in helping our province be what it is, a very proud province. So as echoed from your mayor and others, they're very pleased to see that the Métis government's investing in your town.
President Chartrand, I want to wrap up. I thought that was an interesting point you just made. You talk about sort of the entrepreneurial element of Louis Riel. Do you see any sort of correlations between the mission of Louis Riel and then what's being continued by the MMF? Can you like to highlight, in the spirit of the projects you're talking about being done here in our community, which I know a lot of people have, like you said, the mayor and city council are quite grateful to have this investment locally.
Well, if you look at the, of course, free trade, the Métis were way ahead of Canada, and Brian Mulroney references the biggest referendum debate and vote that happened in this country regarding the ability for free trade to occur between us and other countries. Well, the Métis were quite avidly involved in all free trade already in 1816 and on. That's what caused the first battle to take place against the Métis. But you look at that history of it, Red Cart, Matt, people forget about that. The river cart was probably advanced technology in a sense of being mobile to move large trades of goods from one location to another. And we're, of course, doing quite an abundance of trade with the United States. And we're moving products from the particular Northwest region where CKDM is located. And we're doing salt, for example, as a trade. Pemmican was a trade. There was fish was a trade. So all kind of different commodities that we extracted from different parts of the province. Our people were quite actively involved as entrepreneurs and always will be entrepreneurs. To me, it's always in our bloodline. We're born to be entrepreneurs. It's sort of the fabric that makes who we are as a Métis Nation very unique and different than others, is that we've always been an entrepreneurial people and still will today. And I can't say enough that this has been developed right from the early days of Cuthbert Grant to the days of Riel and to the days of David Chartrand. So it's part of our ongoing evolution as we invest. Dauphin is just one small investment compared to what we're investing province-wide. We're putting hundreds of $millions in investments right now as we speak.
Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand with us here on 730 CKDM. President Chartrand, thank you so much. We've been hearing your great messages about Louis Riel Day on CKDM leading up to the day. Is there anything else you'd like to share on the topic today?
Well, just for me, I'd like to personally express my my personal gratitude to CKDM for taking the time to see that how important this day is, not only for those that live in Winnipeg or different parts of our southern part of our province. It's important for those that live all over Manitoba, and CKDM based in the Northwest region and Dauphin area, and still making, and every year you contact us to follow what's going on. So I want to thank you for making sure that history is being told and the important contribution Riel played, and for all Manitobans to enjoy it. And we know that, for example, in your territory, there's a large Ukrainian population, and it's good for them to know the history of their transition from Ukraine to Canada, and then to Dauphin, and now the relationship we have together, working together hand in hand and trying to help each other, but recognizing the first Premier of Manitoba, Louis Riel.
Well, we appreciate you saying those kind things about CKDM, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in today, and we'll look forward to celebrating with all the events being put on by the MMF on Monday here.
Right on, Matt.